how to speak in a way that everyone listens. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Anjali. I am the founder of Narrative, the Business of Story, a storytelling practice based in Singapore, running for 11 years. And I'm also the author of Strategic Storytelling, a bestseller across many platforms. But today is about you, not about my story. And what I want to cover for you today is how to speak in a way that everyone listens in a professional setting. So I'm going to give you 3 tips with the 3 examples attached to each one of them. If you do these 3 things, majority of your communication challenges when you're standing and presenting to senior leaders, or you're trying to give an interview, or you're simply trying to get your point across in a meeting will be resolved. Number 1, how do you start? So we're going to start with number 1. How do you start? We're then going to go into number 2, how do you tell a story? Number 3, asking for a specific action that is easy for people to take. First, how do you start? Number 2, where and how do you tell a story? Number 3, how do you ask for a specific action that is easy for people to take? If you learn these 3, large part of your communication will become sticky. People will listen. Let's start with number 1. How do you start? When you start your communication, you have to start by telling people what's in it for them. So if you're talking to your boss, think hard about what does your boss want. Your boss genuinely wants one thing, which is for him or her to be successful in their role so that the management sees them as someone who is valuable to the organization. The author of This Is Marketing, Seth Godin, taught us that there are only 3 types of people care about, which includes you and me, which is I, me, and myself. Everyone, including you and me, we just care about those 3 people. I, me, and myself. So start off with what's in it for the boss. So if you know that the boss wants to be successful, for that, he has to show or she has to show good results. So if you start your communication by saying that I want to spend the next 10 minutes in simply making a point as to how our team can produce better results, he or she will be more interested in listening to you. So start with what does your boss care about? Okay, so you're going to start like that. Let's move to the second thing. The second thing is include a story in your communication. Okay, a lot of people don't really understand what a story is. A story, very simply, is defined as a situation in which a person faces a certain, challenge, takes an action, and as a result has consequences. That's the simplest way to define a story. So what I want you to look at is the communication that you're having. What exactly is the problem you're solving in that communication, right? So for example, you could say that I would like us to make our purchasing experience for the customer better. For example, you're talking to your boss and you're saying that our customers should be able to come and make payment really easily in the store. That is the point you want to make. The question then is, what is the problem? The problem is that lack of user experience is leading to loss of revenue. That if the customer doesn't have a good experience in the store, then they do not come back. So we lose revenue, right? That's the problem. But if you just say the problem like that, overhead transmission, nobody really connects with it. So you tell a small story to bring that problem to life. Problem is the best place to tell the story. Even in a job interview, when you're trying to position yourself for a role, you talk about the problem you're going to solve, but don't just say exactly this is the problem I'm going to solve. Tell a story about the problem. Let me go back to that customer experience and tell you a story about it. So, client that I worked with, he really wanted bosses to spend X amount of money in changing the way customers make payment because he felt like that we were losing revenue. So he says this. He says this is the petrol station. He says in our petrol station, people come, they fill their car tank with petrol, then they get out of the car, they go inside the payment kiosk and they make the payment there. And then they come back into the car and then they drive off. Even in Singapore, that's how the payment is made. He says, but if the customer was to drive 100 meters ahead and go to a competitor's place, they would go, park, they would fill the car up with petrol, and all they do is they just tap their card and they move on. Our experience takes 10 minutes and competitors' experience takes 3 minutes. 7 minutes saved. customers are making a choice of going to competitors because it is so much more convenient. Now he told a story, then only the problem started to be a little bit more connecting with the leadership team. So it's really important to tell a story. So think about a story where your audience can actually experience the problem you're saying. Don't just have lines of problems. That's number 2. Okay, so 1, we did make it all about them. Number 2, we did find the problem that you're trying to solve and tell a story about that problem. Okay, let's go to the final one, the number 3. When you finish your communication, you have to ask for a specific action. By just saying, I've made you aware that you should be spending some money in making the customer experience better, people may agree with you, but they will not align with you. Agreement is I agree. Alignment is I get up and I take action. They will not know where to begin. You have to make things simple for them. So what you have to say is, I suggest as an immediate action, we do this. So, for example, what you can say, I suggest as an immediate action, you approve meeting us in 1 week's time where we can tell you exactly how much money is required to change the customer experience. Just move to the smallest possible next direction. I'll give you another example. There is, in a university, the leadership team, the faculty decided that all students should get certain vaccination for a potential flu that was going to get spread. When they made a brochure and said, here's the brochure information, you should go and get the injection, everybody looked and said, okay, yeah, I agree. And then they forgot about it. What they did next was, they said, here's the information about the flu, here's the injection you need to get, and on this day, at this time, this is the place. There was a little map in the university where you can get this injection. That clarity of what action needs to be taken increased the number of people actually went and got that injection. So it's really important to get the action in place that is not that difficult for people to take. So, one more time. What's in it for them? Open with a line that makes it all about them. Then they're interested. Once they're interested, you have to keep them interested. You tell a story about a problem that you're trying to solve, a real life incident. And when you're coming to the end, you have to be able to give a very clear action. And that is how you will be able to speak in a way that everyone will listen by the end of your communication. If you liked what you just heard, I recommend you subscribe by pressing the bell icon below. Stay storied, and I'll see you for the next one.